We're back on The Big Show. It's Alex Belfield talking to the big stars, and an old friend of the programme now is Will Martin. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
It's nice to see you, and we've been talking because I got your album about, 3 months ago or something like that, and then I listened to it and I thought it was very good. Then we had you on the programme, and you've got incredibly busy, haven't you, since?
Yeah, well, it's 4 weeks-ish since the album went on sale, and the record company were very happy to see it debut at number one, so that has sort of elevated me to what they call a vaguely interesting person. And I've had bits and pieces around about the place, and I have been keeping busy.
And how does your life change when you go to number one? Has anything changed? Have the ladies been different around you? Suddenly are ladies in the office interested in talking to you, whereas before they'd just send you out in your cab?
You know what? It makes the job easier, I think. To be able to, like, for example, my manager who's pitching me for work, instead of saying, I've got this guy, he's from New Zealand, he sings classical music, here's a little bit. Now he can say, I've got this guy, he's from New Zealand, he sings classical music, and he's got a number one album. And, the number one thing, obviously people pay attention. So whether it be the ladies in the office or potential, employers, it definitely helps my job.
And the frustrating thing about that is you're no more talented now than you were before you had the number one.
I suppose, statistics are a good thing. If it's written down on paper and you can actually say that, it sort of justifies what I've been doing for the last few years, and it's a great feeling. Obviously, it was a goal, and now we're on to the next one.
So that's what's happening now then? You're working on what you're going to do next?
Yeah, I think, now that we've been, obviously, I've spent a few months in the studio, we've got this great album, great songs, but I think it's time now that we get onto the stages around about the place. I continually talk about the fact that I like to think of myself as an entertainer. I love to perform. That is my biggest passion, and yet, I don't get the opportunities much with the promotions and the media and all the bits and pieces that you have to do with releasing a CD. So now that that's sort of out of the way, we can focus on jumping on some stages.
And you're not a performer unless you're performing, really, are you?
Exactly right.
And you didn't come in this business just to make CDs. You did it to perform and entertain.
No, CDs were a byproduct. And, if I can jump back on those stages and just sing those songs, obviously I've got some great repertoire now that is on the album, but we can also stretch that. We can keep pushing it.
You've got some live gigs coming up, and you're doing something quite unique and different. You're giving your fans the opportunity to choose your playlist.
Well, where it came from is I felt really bad. I've got to be honest. I felt really bad. I launched my album in New Zealand end of October 2007. And then it was released here September, almost a year later. It took that long to get everything prepared. And there were people, there were a few people about the place going, why do we have to wait? It was incredible to have the support of people, but people got impatient. They wanted to get the album. And I felt really bad that, unfortunately, because of the process and everything that had to be worked through, that was how it worked. And so I thought, look, we're building a tour currently. It's going to be spring of next year. That's when my tour is going to be in the UK. We're looking at April. But I don't want people to have to wait that long. So, as you say, I've come up with this idea, and it's sort of called, the working title we're going with is Will Martin by Request. And my thoughts were that wouldn't it be great to give the people who have supported me over the last few months, the people here in the UK, an opportunity to not only quickly get to see me sing some songs on a stage, before spring. Not only that, but actually for them to choose which songs I'm singing. So whether it be their favourite song from the album perhaps, or maybe a classical crossover song that I haven't actually gotten around to singing yet. Or maybe someone might like to see me do my piano thing that I used to do as an entertainer. I think it would be really good to see what the fans think, what the fans would like, what my supporters would like, and they're who motivate me to do what I do after all.
Problem is, though, fans have funny ideas. What if they suggest Agadoo or maybe the Birdie song or something?
I think it's a case of doing the maths. Obviously, the most popular requests, I think some of them will be from the album. I can sort of envisage what a couple will be, because they've already come through like the website forum and direct to MySpace and bits and pieces like that. So this is sort of formalising an idea which is, it's logical to me. I'm going to perform a I'm going to perform a show. We're going to do it in London, pretty central. We're going to give the public an opportunity to choose what it is that I sing so that they can come along and hear exactly what they want to hear.
We do the piano, we do the singing. Anything else you can do that we can request? Maybe do some naked juggling or something.
Well, you know what? Chuck it down on a request and we'll see what I come up with. If it's one of the most popular things, I am an entertainer after all. We'll see how far I'll go.
And as for next year then, this is the big touring year for you. This is your chance to go out there and impress people big time. Because let's face it, anybody can really make a CD, can't they? Whether they can translate that to the stage and impress and have charisma and personality is the ultimate test. Yeah,
I think that's the big thing for me, to be able to get on the stages and sort of justify, I suppose, why Universal Classics and Jazz signed me. Obviously they liked the voice, they think I look young and appealing, but that's not enough for them, and it's certainly not enough for me. I want to quantify it by really performing, and if I finally get a solo show, if it's Will Martin in concert, then that is a clean slate for me to do what I want and to draw on my years of entertainment experience, and we've got some pretty exciting ideas which I won't hint to just yet, but maybe we'll get a taste of it at this show by request.
All right, well, give us something. Give me something to go on.
I am quite a fan of theatrics, I think, and I personally feel that this idea of classical crossover, taking the best aspects of classical music and modernising it and mixing it with the contemporary flavours of today, I don't think that needs to be limited to album repertoire. I don't think it needs to be limited to how a song is produced. I think it needs to be transposed to how a song is performed. And so don't necessarily look for a traditional classical performance from me. I think something more popular may be what to expect.
Are you going to be doing You Raise Me Up in the show? Because everybody seems to have to do that these days.
When I mention that there are a couple of songs that are frequently requested, I think, you know what, how about this? How about I throw this out there? You Raise Me Up, Nessun Dorma, all these songs that everyone, apparently everyone has to do. I'll do a medley. I'll do it in under 60 seconds, and I'll do a line of each of those most popular, overdone songs. Would
we start with Nessun Dorma, or would we start with You Raise Me Up?
I'd probably start with Nessun Dorma, I think, because I'd prefer not to kill myself on that end. So if we just start with a da-da-da, and then you da-da-da-da, da-da-da, I don't know, we'll make it up as we go along. But I just think as I say, it was logical for me. It was logical for me to give the audience an opportunity to not only come along and to see me sing finally, in the UK, a show of my own, but to just to give the audience a bit of say in what it is that I do, to make sure that those people who have supported me, that I'm so grateful for, can really hear what they want to hear.
How much opportunity have you had to see your fans so far? I'll give you an example. I was doing a very successful radio show in London. I had about 120,000 listeners on a Saturday breakfast. I never met one of them. You've got a number one record. How many fans are you meeting day to day?
Well, day to day, very little, I suppose. At the moment, I'm in meetings. I am doing the occasional promo bit, but it's basically looking at the long-term plan now. What is next? Number one record, what is next? And so that's what sort of I've been focusing my plans on, whether it be this show, whether it be the tour next year, whether it be album 2, dare I say it. There's so much possibilities that you need to work through. In terms of meeting fans, if I perform as a support act for another artist, then there'll be a spattering of Will Martin supporters there. But the truth is, because I haven't had anything of my own as of yet, there hasn't been, a real collection of them. So I'm certainly looking forward to actually, shaking people's hands and signing some CDs and saying, hey, it's nice to finally meet you.
And let's face it, you're young, you're gorgeous. There's potential wife opportunities. Maybe there's did you get what I'm saying?
Alex, that I am single, and so I think that I personally think that a supportive female type person should like what I do. I think it would be important, and so that's the first box ticked.
Right, so how does it work then? Pretend I'm gorgeous, which I know is a stretch of the imagination, but pretend I'm gorgeous and female, and I come and see you after the show and I say, oh, hello Will, how are you? How do I get into that, maybe I can go for dinner with you?
Well, you know what, I think for me, this is getting quite personal. For me, I think the greatest attribute in a female is confidence. is competence, I suppose. It's just being good at what you do and having the strength to actually to show it, not in an arrogant way, but in a, hi, how you doing way. So if she was to ask me for a drink, then I'd struggle to decline, I think.
Even if they're ugly?
Even if they're ugly.
Because you've got to have standards somewhere, haven't you? I mean, come on, you're a big star, a number one selling artist. You can't just date anybody.
You know what? I think, of course, it's a combination of factors. I mean, for me, I say competence and confidence. I'd have to be attracted to the person. I mean, it's not, to be perfectly honest, I mean, they don't even need to necessarily like what I do, as long as they know a bit about what I do and as long as they support what I'm doing. So, I don't think, just turned 24, I don't think I'm quite at wife territory yet, but it would be nice to start having some conversations, I suppose, yeah.
My manager the other day said to me, what do you normally say after sex? I normally say, do you take MasterCard or Visa? But let's just move on.
I was lost, actually. It was the MasterCard Visa statement.
You'd got a thought there in your head. You'd got an image, hadn't you? Congratulations on being you. Congratulations on the new album. Is there anything else I can do for you, promote for you, launch for you? We seem to be having these chit-chats quite regularly.
I think just to push this show, the By Request show. Truth be told, we actually don't have a venue as of yet. We're just trying to. We want to find the right place. Will
that be in London or in the Midlands?
Yeah, we think we're going to do it in the centre of London, and and that way we'll get a few people along. We're sort of doing the maths as to how many we expect and how many tickets we can sell and all that sort of thing. So we've got to balance the books at the end of the day. But no, it'll just be great. And to everyone out there who is hoping that I'll jump on a stage soon, I will be. Thank you for your patience. I am doing my very, very best. It is a priority for me. And once again, thank you for your support.
Working men's clubs in the Midlands. I mean, I do many of them. I've got contacts.
You know what? I've been singing for my supper up and down the UK. I've been doing bits and pieces all over. I've been popping into people's houses and singing a few songs in return for a meal. And that's been going well. So between that and the real big stages, you know what? If I found myself in a working men's club, if there was a microphone, then who knows?
Absolutely. Will Martin, always nice to talk to you. Congratulations on the number one selling album. That sounds cool, doesn't it? And good luck with all the female business and the new tour. If they want to find out about this request show and you want their ideas, what would you like him to do? Whether you want him to play the piano, whether you want him to sing, take his clothes off, you email where? Exactly right. The best place is the website, willmartin.net. Get in touch with me there. And if you are a beautiful woman, that's also the place to find me. Send pictures. Will Martin, thank you very much. Thank you.